First up, ladies and gentlemen, Indian student Satyam Surana, who studies LLM at the London School of Economics in the UK, has alleged hate campaigns and smears against him during the college elections in March 2024. The judgment over his complaints to the LSE authorities came in December 2024, and he has in fact strongly criticized the handling of his case, accusing the institution of showing a biased treatment towards him. Satyam says that major university campuses in the UK today have been what he calls hijacked by pro-left ideologies, and that they cannot accept someone with a vocal Hindu and Indian identity. Now, these kind of allegations, remember, have been seen in the past as well, with the then student Rashmi Samant also accusing university campuses of being anti-right-wing. Satyam, in fact, is joining us on Global Mirror today to share his own experience. Satyam, good evening. Namaskar. Thank you very much for speaking with us on Global Mirror. First of all, Satyam, help us understand what your allegations, what your accusations against the LSE are. You say that you have faced some extremely serious racist smear campaigns against you during the elections.
Good evening, Shreya ji. Thank you for having me on the show. First of all, I would like to point out that my allegations against LSE are entirely filled with how I faced the harassment, hate, bullying, doxing, and all sorts of these negative experiences during the student union elections. My Hindu identity was ripped off. My Jain identity was ripped off. I was called a gay man who is aroused by Prime Minister Modi. I was hurled at abuses in Hindi were hurled at me on social media platforms. I was physically doxxed, and all of this hate campaign took place in broad daylight on campus of one of the most prestigious universities of the world. And the only reason for this hate campaign was me being vocal of my Indian identity, me being vocal of my Hindu identity, and me choosing to speak up whenever it came up, whenever attacks were made on India, whenever attacks were made on Hindu people. And uh, the moment I chose to speak up and run for the student union elections, I was attacked. Cut to, I approached the LSE authorities for a redressal. A university that claims that it is here for its students, it ensures a safe environment for its students. I approached every possible authority. But 10 months, more than 100 emails, one legal notice, multiple meetings, what I was given that none of my complaints have been upheld. None of my allegations have been upheld. Everything that has happened to me has been justified
Okay.
under the garb of free speech.
Okay. Satyam, let's go around this one by one. Regarding the kind of racist slurs that were hurled against you, help us understand for our viewers, what kind of campaigning goes around during the college election time at universities such as the LSE. Are they any different from what we see at perhaps, Delhi University here in India? What is the kind of, statement that you said, or, a campaign line that you said that sort of led to that sort of a reaction from what you say is a left ideology cabal there at the university?
See, I have always been vocal about when it came to the territorial sovereignty, integrity of India, and I have always been proud of my Hindu and Indian identity. I chose to speak up on my social media platforms when the Ram Mandir consecration had happened. I chose to speak up when the Khalistan protests had happened. The messages that were circulated in the university groups particularly targeted me as a Hindutva nationalist, as a Hindutva fascist, as a neo-Nazi, as an Islamophobe, as a transphobe, and all of this came under the garb of that left-wing ideology. And the messages that were spread against me on campus in all the WhatsApp groups had one title, had one headline, that right-wing organizations out of the SU. And that is why I posed that legitimate question, that our academic campus is the monopoly of the left. Have they been hijacked of the left? Because they have targeted me specifically with the headline that right-wing organizations out of the SU, and that is why they are hurling these racist slurs on me. I remember one of the students physically encountered me and told that I do not want a Hindutva nationalist and Indian nationalist to win the SU elections. They were seeing my victory. That's why he said that they did not want me to win the elections. And this has expressly been allowed as a legitimate expression of free speech in the LSE decision.
Okay,
There were
since you've
messages on
countered
campus
the
groups.
final decision by the university. Yes. Okay.
There were
Okay.
messages on campus
Also,
groups
have
stating
you
of my
heard
J
from the
identity.
LSE authorities yet, Satyam?
Yes, the LSE authorities have been kind enough to give me a decision after the students have passed out. The LSE authorities have merely
Okay. And since you've
thrown my
countered
complaints.
this judgment by them, this decision by them, have you heard from them?
No, after the decision, I wrote an email to the LSE leadership highlighting all the gross negligence that has taken place in the handling of my complaint, the inherent bias that is evident from uh, 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 the procedures adopted in the handling of this investigation. I have highlighted how this investigation is malified. I have highlighted how an institutional bias exists because of some particular faculties and administrative persons being of a particular like identifying themselves with a particular political ideology, and I have demanded for a re-inquiry. I have demanded that the case be reopened. I have heard nothing since then.
Okay, okay. You also talk about Satyam, and you've also said it right now that these universities have been hijacked by pro-left ideologies. This is something that an earlier student at the Oxford University, Rashmi Samant, also accused the campus of, accused the authorities of during college election time. Why do you feel this is happening? Why do you feel that this sort of a sentiment exists on the college and university campuses, and why does it come forth especially during the election time?
See, I think the root cause of all these instances is the global Hindu phobia narrative that is being spread. This is an entire syndicate of the left ideology, which is hands in gloves with the radical Islamist organizations. We have seen how the Israel Palestine conflict was taken across the globe on university campuses to sympathize with Hamas, which is a globally declared Islamist fundamentalist organization. It is the same thing. Have suffered, India has suffered a lot from these Islamic terrorist organizations. And as the Hindu civilization, we have been quite vocal against it. So, whenever proud Hindus, proud Indians decide to run for office, these efforts like these are systematic and they are seen again and again, be it Rashmi Samant, be it Karan Kataria in the year previous to me at the same institution in LSE, be it me, and there are multiple other victims as well. I am not the first, I am not the last, but these are systematic attempts to deter and
Okay.
to antagonize proud Indian voices on foreign soil so as to retain that academic monopoly that the left and all these left identical ideologies have gained in the past decade, the past 20 years, what so maybe, in the field of academia.
Okay. For viewers, those visuals, let me clarify, those visuals are also of Satyam a while back, a few months back, when he was outside the Indian High Commission and he had picked up the tricolor when it was being insulted, and that video of Satyam went viral. But Satyam, you know, to counter your argument, many would say there are several Indians who are excelling. They have taken up top jobs in the UK and US, and that by saying that this is Hindu phobia, you're just causing unnecessary panic.
See, I would like to give you multiple examples wherein people from India who have spoken up for their Hindu identity have been targeted. Until we are mum, until we decide to stay quiet, it goes all good for students here or even for people. People are reluctant to speak on matters when it comes to the Hindu identity, when it comes to issues that are contentious in the global diaspora. But the moment you start speaking up, you are targeted by these elements because they have consolidated themselves in such a way that it is beyond imagination. They have consolidated themselves politically, morally, academically, in all the fields. And it makes me remember of the slogan, Ek hai to safe hai. Why was that slogan, why did that slogan come up? Why did Batenge to Katenge come up? It was
Okay.
not merely a political slogan. It was a global call for the Hindu diaspora to unite.
Okay. Okay, we'll leave it there. Satyam, thanks very much for joining us on Global Mirror and sharing your experience. Of course, there are arguments and there are counter arguments on this entire incident. But of course, thank you very much for putting forth your view as far as your own experience at the London School of Economics is concerned. Thank you very much. With that, viewers, it's time for a short break. On the other side of the break, we talk about the other major controversy that has erupted in the UK, that of grooming gangs raping young girls in the UK.